Let's take a closer look at this safety car crash in Monza, because this incident was a bit of an odd one. First of all, the safety car driver is former race driver Bernd Maylaender. The German is the F1 safety car driver for 24 years and very experienced. He never crashed a safety car before. The safety car in F1 was a Mercedes for decades, and just recently, since Stroll took over Aston Martin, Mercedes and the British brand share the safety car duties. 2 years ago, Mercedes introduced their AMG GT Black Series as the new F1 safety car, with integrated lights in its wings, so no aerodynamic penalty anymore. I made a video about the big performance step which this new safety car would bring, and a few races into the season, the F1 drivers were complaining that the Aston Martin safety car is so much slower than the Mercedes. In early 2024, Aston Martin presented the new Vantage, which is a big thing for them, because they didn't just introduce a new road car, they introduced their new GT3 car and F1 safety car at the same time. Basically, the new Vantage is a big facelift of the previous model. It got a lot more power, optimized brakes, and a big suspension upgrade. It now has 665 horsepower instead of 535, which brings it a lot closer to the 730 of the AMG. The car is now also much wider and provides a much better feeling than before. To optimize it for being an F1 safety car, Aston Martin added huge splitter, optimized the floor, and added a large rear wing. They added all FIA-specific functions like flashlights, and they also give the driver some additional controls. For example, the driver can manually control the gearbox cooling. So Bernd Maylaender was very happy with his new Aston Martin safety car and said it's a big step from the previous model. So what exactly happened at the high-speed crash in Monza? We see the car approaching the parabolica right-hand turn, and the first thing to note in the braking zones are the small white clouds at the rear wheels, which unsettle the car. So the car experienced over-braking at the rear axle. And not just for a split moment. We could see how Maylaender was trying to brake the car in time, but the brake power wasn't enough. Instead of going straight into the barrier, he decided to spin the car in order to reduce speed before the impact. So he moved to the middle of the track to have enough space, steered left, and then steered right while braking, which started the spin. And here we can see how the rear brake discs are glowing, but the fronts are not. So brake force was there, but as it seems only at the rear, and that wasn't enough to make the corner. But why was the brake balance suddenly so off? And how do you set the brake balance on a modern car? Let's talk about the anti-locking system ABS. The main brake cylinder is producing brake pressure. This pressure is forwarded to the wheel brakes, but on the way it passes through the ABS block. That is a metal block with 2 valves for each wheel brake. The first one is open by default, the second one closed. So even if there is a failure, the brake works like a normal car without ABS. If the wheel sensors detect that a wheel starts locking, the first valve closes to avoid increasing brake pressure on the locking wheel. If the wheel still spins slower, the second valve opens, releasing brake pressure. This leftover brake fluid is being pumped back by a hydraulic pump on the ABS block, so it can push the brake pedal back so it doesn't fall through once valve 1 opens again. So if the wheel starts spinning faster again, valve 2 closes, valve 1 opens, and the cycle starts again. This is the pumping you feel in your brake pedal during an ABS braking event. So what could have failed at the safety car? It was driving at high speeds for a while already, and this issue suddenly occurred. So it could have been a mechanical issue that one of the front brake lines was somehow damaged. Or another possibility could have to do with the ABS block. Valve 1 for the front wheels could have been closed accidentally, so brake pressure didn't reach the front wheels, or valve 2 could have been open. Brake pressure couldn't build up. While spinning, we could also see how the brake lights were still on, but the wheels were rotating backwards, so there wasn't a lot of brake force. So that's definitely an odd one and something which shouldn't happen on a specially prepped and expensive sports car. But things happen and luckily no one was injured. The car will be brought back to Aston Martin in the UK for inspection. There is a spare safety car at the track, and a new spare safety car will be brought to Monza shortly. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below and see you at the next video.